Good morning, everybody. I'm
Thank
glad to be here this morning. Can you hear me okay?
You sound good.
All right. So again, I'm going to go over the new Gifted and Talented Student Services Plan. And this is something that we have worked on with the Office of Education Technology and also campus. And we are hoping that this will increase efficiency for districts as it concerns the Gifted Student Service Plan. The information today is also covered in the data standards for gifted and talented and also posted on the GT Coordinator One Stop. So here are some of the new GSSP features. The GSSP will auto-populate from the service delivery options that are marked in the gifted and talented record. You can also add comments now to the GT record, and those will show up on the GSSP. The new GSSP transfers with the student and is imported through a records transfer process. A report can be generated to show which students are showing in the GSSP portal for parents. And there is a portal update tool for the GSSP that will turn on those GSSPs that can be seen for parents all at one time. So let's next talk about creating the GSSP. So first of all, before I go much further, I do want to say that in order to create the new GSSP, you have to have permissions and rights from your KSIS contact. So if you don't see any of these tools, when you go into Infinite Campus, please contact your district person so that they can turn on those rights and permissions for you. So first of all, to create a GSSP for a newly identified student, you're going to go into Infinite Campus. You're going to create a record for that student according to the directions that are in the GT data standards. The GSSP will be created from the service delivery options that are selected in the GT record. So as you can see over there on the right-hand side of your screen, there is a screenshot from the GT record, and there are many different options there. And so just as from a program standard, remember that you need to meet with your GT Selection and Placement Committee in order to decide which service options would be best provide services for that student. So moving on, from the student's record, you're going to click the Gifted Student Services Plan. That's a new button that you will see there at the top of the page. And again, you have to contact your KSIS person in order to see these tools. Once you click that button, you're going to have two options there. You can either select Save to Documents, and that's going to save the GSSP under the Documents tab, gives you a history of the student's GSSP, or you can select the Print option, which allows you to view the document, the GSSP, or to save it or to print it. So next, to view the GSSP, you click Documents. So there's a Documents tab there at the top of the page. And once you select the GSSP tool, you may have several different GSSP links there. And so you want to pick the one that you want to view. And once you do that, there'll be a URL link down at the bottom of your screen. And so you click the link or arrow to download the GSSP. A text box with a PDF will appear in the left corner of the screen. You'll click that text box to open the GSSP. This is what the new GSSP will look like. As you can tell, if you've been in Gifted and Talented very long, it looks similar to the Gifted and Talented summary report that we had, but it gives some different information. You'll also notice that if you've got any comments that you've added for that student, those will be denoted at the bottom of that student's GSSP. So let's talk about preparing the GSSP for the portal. This is the parent portal. So if the GSSP is ready to view in the portal, you want to lock the GSSP and check the Show in Portal checkbox. And so you will see those there on the screen. If you don't want to click the Show in Portal checkbox, you could wait and do all of your students at one time, or you can do them individually as you go. that would be a, a different choice there. If the GSSP is not ready to view, so you've opened it up and it's got services that those aren't the ones that you want to offer the student, uh, or something has happened, a mistake's been made, then you can return to the GSSP, to the student's record, and correct those, and then follow the steps that we've reviewed so far. Now, if we're creating a GSSP for a transfer student, it's a little bit different. And of course, first you want to import that student's gifted and talented record, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you have a transfer student and you've imported that student's GT record, then you will also, if the previous district has created a gifted student service plan for that student, you'll be able to import that student's GSSP. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So you've imported the student's GT record, and you want to look at those service delivery options, because districts have different options that they provide for students based on the resources they have in their district. So if you need to, you can update those services, and then if you want, you can add comments to the record. And then you want to follow the directions that we've previously covered for creating a GSSP for an identified student. Next, let's talk about the GSSP portal settings report. So this report is used to show which students can be seen by parents in the portal. So in order to view the report, you want to follow this click path. You'll look up at the top, and underneath Index, you'll go to Reports, then GSSP Portal Settings Report. Then under the Show in Portal, you'll have to select a few items. So you can either select blank, yes or no. The blank shows the status of all the GSSPs. Yes shows all the GSSPs that are turned on or will show in the portal. No shows all the GSSPs that are not turned on or will not show in the portal. Next, after selecting all extract options, choose the calendar to include in the report. So you've got several options there. You can do the active year, or you have some other options that you can select. Then you're going to choose the schools to be included. If you just want to do one school, you can, or if you have multiple schools, you can select Control Click or Shift Click to select those multiple schools. Finally, you want to click Generate Extract to create the report. Let's talk about the GSSP Portal Options Update tool. So this is a tool that allows a user to enable or disable the portal checkboxes for the GSSP. And this is a good tool because you can, as I said earlier, you can turn on multiple student GSSPs at a time. So in order to access this tool, you'll follow this click path: Index, System Administration, Portal, GSSP Portal Options Update Tool. So all of those things, as you can see, are set up on the left-hand side. Next, what you want to do is you want to, under Select Calendars, choose the calendar to include in the report. Then after you've done that, you're going to choose Show in Portal checkbox on the GSSP. Then under Options, you'll select the grade to update the Show in Portal checkbox for the GSSP. Under Batch Update Mode, you're going to choose either Enable or Disable Portal Document. So as well as showing things, showing GSSPs on the portal, you can also not show them all at one time. And then finally, you want to click Update Gifted and Talented Settings to change the Show in Portal checkboxes on the GSSP selected. All right, let's talk about transferring the GT record and GSSP. And I just want to say before we get started on this that these are two different items. The GT record is the record which is entered for a student. There might be multiple records for a student depending on how many categories the student is identified for. And the GSSP is a document. And so there are different links that you'll see when a student transfers in order to do these different things. So one is the record and the other is a document. So when you transfer a student record, it's important to know that they don't automatically transfer. The staff with the student records transfer rights will receive notice through Infinite Campus that a new student is transferred to the district. And before transferring the student's GSSP, you want to import that student's record because, as I said before, when you look at those service delivery options, your district might not offer those service delivery options, and you might need to update those before creating or auto-populating this new GSSP. So make sure that you look at those service delivery options. Then next you want to import the student's record following the directions that are in the student records transfer data standard, or watch the records transfer data video. And section B of those data standards gives specific directions for the GT student record. Then you want to find the student in Infinite Campus. You want to click the search tab. Then following this click path, records transfer, gifted documents, import wizard. So as you can see, for the record, it's at the very bottom of that screen. It says Kentucky State Reporting Import Wizard. That's how you're going to import the GT record. But if you're going to import the GSSP, it is a different link. It's a little further up on the right-hand side. All right, let's talk about the parent and student portal. So how to view the GSSP in the portal? There is a campus parent portal video, which is a good resource for explaining to parents about how to view their students' GSSP in the portal. Those parents have got to have access and have a username and password set up in order for them to view the portal and items in the portal, but then they use this click path in order to view their students' the gifted student service plan. They just go to documents, which is on the left-hand side, then they go to the middle of the screen and they'll see gifted and talented, and under that GSSP. So below are some screenshots of the portal and also what the parents will be able to see of the student's GSSP. So I'm going to skip this slide here. We don't need that, and we don't need this. Here is my contact information. I also have some GSSP support hours that are available. I'm available on Tuesdays from 11 to 12 and Wednesdays from 2:30 to 3:30. To sign up for these hours, you can either reach out to me and I can send you that link, or if you're a GT coordinator or a GT teacher, please log on to the GT coordinator one stop and you'll see the link has been posted there. If you need a different time or a different date, please contact me. I'm glad to help you. And if you've got any questions, I'll just stop. I know I've covered a lot of material there, Dee Dee, so I'll be glad to just stop and to answer any questions that anybody might have.
All right, we have one question and it says, I can't find tool right in campus specifically for GSSP. Do a staff member need tool rights to gifted and talented documents to be able to view the GSSP?
Yes, you'll need those tool rights, and those tool rights are given from the KSIS contact. And I believe, Dee Dee, those directions were sent out to KSIS contacts back in June.
Yeah, okay. That is the only question I'm seeing.
Well, I must have covered that really well then, right?
Must have, or there's.
All right.
Make sure one didn't pop up to the top because you can bump them up, and when they do that, they get ahead of me, and it's harder to find.
No problem.
Anything else? If anybody does have a question, and this is this new GSSP is something that all districts can use to help them with managing their gifted services plan. That keeps it all in one system. Or will all districts be using it?
There is no regulation that states that they have to use it, but it is going to be a good tool that will really reduce the lift for districts. In the past, Dee Dee, when you had that gifted student service form, you had to click all of the information. It was like an editable PDF. Using this new GSSP product, it automatically just populates. Boom, there it is. There's no clicking except for checking to make sure that those service delivery options are the ones that your district wants to provide to the student.